We're back. Friday Night Live, Part 2, 94 feet of playoff preview. Now we have to go out to the West Side. And it's so much to talk about in the West. We actually had to bring in some more people. You know, myself, German, and Ham, we comfortable talking about the West, but we need a little extra help. So we brought in two special guests. We got our man Trav in the building, and you see the jump shots going on. Do not adjust your screen. That is MJ live from his palace, getting up a few buckets. Remember, if you in Facebook, 94 Feet of Life is the Facebook group, the Facebook fan page, brand new, the scene, the SCEN. If you're on YouTube, of course, if you're tuning in, subscribe to us. Make sure you keep the notifications on. You never know when we're going to pop up. But Western Conference. So I'm going to swing this over to MJ first. MJ, Western Conference, the big story this week has been the wrath of Dame for the last 3 games. 154 points the last 3 games. Portland in Memphis go in and play in action on Saturday. Talk to us just about what we're seeing here with the new Agent Zero.
Dame inspired me to go for this 10-day contract, which you see me working out for right now. I'm about 80 pounds away. This is day 1. As you can see, I'm trying to get my form back, but I'm good for at least 3 corner threes. But all seriousness, I'm done with it. Seriously. But Dame is remarkable, and to be completely honest with you, he is literally breaking the rules of basketball to where we have to really reevaluate how we're going to guard a person like Damian Lillard. Now, I hope nobody misquote me when I say this, because I'm not going to say that he's better than Steph. I'm not saying that. That is completely preferential at this point. What I will say is Dame Lillard does have a more athletic approach at finishing around the basket that is a little bit better than Steph's, in which if he gets a full head of steam, he will put you in the rim. And I think that makes defenders think twice about rotating, as opposed when Steph blows by you, they don't mind rotating and trying to block his shot because they know that he's not going to put him in the rim. With that being said, I really just believe that he has the perfect team around him. You saw when Brooklyn pretty much tried to double team, take the ball out of his hands. He was able to get it to Nurkic, who ate in the paint. If they helped off on Nurkic, it was McCollum or Melo in the corner. You had Zach Collins cutting and even shooting a little bit. They also ran handoffs and good screen and rolls and flip screen and rolls for him. So they were able to put him in situations in which, even though they was keying in on him, they still had to worry about the other teams, the other players, because the other players was making them pay the price. And I think that's all that matters when you're a great player on that level. One person ain't gonna be able to guard you, but your team has to be able to make them pay when they get doubled. So that's pretty much what I'm seeing with Dame. It's gonna be a hell of a series between them and Memphis. I can't wait to see him and Ja go at it. I think it's gonna definitely be some things we're gonna see for a while, and I'm excited.
You're on mute.
I'm not on mute, am I?
Big shot.
So let's flip this over to Bluff City. The young Grizzlies had some early struggles in the bubble. They've maintained. They've kept them head down, and they managed to pull out enough W's at the end to get themselves into the playing game. Now, shout out to this new bubble format where the 9th seed, which is Memphis, has to actually beat Portland twice, which I dig. I think this is a chance. Hey, let's experiment. Let's try some stuff. So J-Ham with the young Grizzlies, obviously it's Ja Rule, it's ODB. How you feeling about Memphis going into this play-in against the hottest player in the league right now?
Love them. I love the fight at them. I love the progression. I think they'll be at home tomorrow night. I don't think there's any shame in it, because it's just going to be like part of the process. And you can pretty much have a situation where you have a collapse of some sort. You have lost into the bubble, and then after you start in the bubble, you go to a six, but the two that you got out of they played well, played great, and on the whole that you still lost 2 more in the beginning, one against the same team that you got to beat twice on the weekend. So that 1000 was well. So I don't know, man. It's just one of those things where it's just like, it is what it is. I'm not talking game right now. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just like, can't, nah. It is a situation. It is like, we ain't seen one like this in the postseason by God. It's all especially that's historic. It's like, dude, we got 3 games in one season. I don't get this done this look. Games like this, games all the time. I don't want us to do this like playoff play. That's just
Okay. Ham, take your headphones out right quick. Let's see if that works. So where we're at right now is we're trying to see exactly how this matchup stacks up with the Grizz, of course, and with Portland. I believe wholeheartedly that if the Grizz in this particular, 2-game stretch, if they are able to defensively lock down and be able to, I don't think you can really necessarily stop Dame at this point. I think we've gotten past that point. I think what we have to do now is we have to try to make CJ be consistent for 4 quarters and those type of things. What we have to do now at this stage is we have to make them or let those other guys be the guys that beat us. Try to contain Dame as much as possible, but he's not going to not take jump shots. Try to make him force contested jump. Try to force as many contested jump shots as you can. Contest, defend, trap, throw different looks at him. That's pretty much where we're at this stage. So, Big Shot, I wanted to get you back in real quick, and then we can pass it along to Trav and back to MJ. What are you looking forward to most with this Grizz and this Trailblazers matchup?
I'm just interested to see how you always interested to see how the team that's never been there, how they handle it. I think if you ask J Ham and some of our other Memphis crew 6 months ago, he said, hey, would you take being in a playing game based on what you got? They would have told you yes. Because the Grizzlies aren't supposed to be here. So it's always interesting to see how the team that's not supposed to be here, how they handle it. I think, like Ham alluded to, was Memphis is going to fight you. And I think the way if they're going to beat Portland, they got to make it a rock fight. We talked about Miami making it a rock fight in the East. Memphis has to make it a rock fight. I don't think they want to get into 135, 140 with Portland. I think you got to try to keep the score down. You're not going to play slow down ball, but you got to say, hey, we can't let this game get into the 110s and up. We got to keep this thing in the hundreds and lower with Memphis. But I'm just interested to see how the reaction is, because Memphis, to be honest with you, is playing with house money at this point. They ain't supposed to be here. Trav, what you think?
We talking about the Dame deal. Of course, Memphis is still. I mean, Memphis not supposed to be here. That's why they were so adamant about the playoffs starting now. Not now, but when it all ended with the COVID deal, they was ready now because they didn't supposed to be there. Now, interesting. Let me go back to the Dame deal. Interesting that Ja Morant can slick guard Damian Lillard. He has the size. He has the length. He has the athletic ability to do so. But Dame is a crafty dude. Dame can get to where he want to get to. But I have seen Ja Morant come up with key stops against Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is Got that same type of ability, layup package and all. I done seen John Morant play good defense on him. In this case, you just got to go with what you know at this point, Memphis. You got to go with what you know. Man up, be a man, and let the chips fall where they may. But I really don't see Memphis winning tomorrow. That game is tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, Saturday.
Yes, that game. I really don't see Memphis making it because they've been, besides the Pelicans, the Grizzlies have been one of the most disappointing teams in this bubble. They have been. But they made it. They won the 2 games they needed to win. So we'll see. We will see.
Definitely. I mean, the main thing is, all things considered, you got to think they lost one of their key players to an ACL injury, in which it caused Valanciunas to step up. As far as what you stated, I think you made a great point about John Morant being able to stay in front of guards and surprise a few guards who think they could create separation on him. The only difference is Morant is probably not going to be the one guarding Lillard. Valanciunas is going to be guarding Leonard because they're going to run him off that screen and roll like 40 million times. And that is the part that I'm scared of. I know Valanciunas is going to work hard. He's going to play angles. He reminds me of a mini Gasol in a lot of situations in which he's just smart, knows how to play angles, doesn't do anything outside of himself, developed the outside shot, an inside game, actually shoots very well between the 3 to 10 foot area. Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about that pretty soon. But he does a lot of things as far as we expect basketball players to do. The only thing is, it's just that in this day and age, you got guys like Damian Lillard who are able to control every speed that they go to, understand angles, understand how to attack a shoulder, understand how to draw a foul, understands, the element of body weight in which if you're leaning too far or you're looking to cut off, they know how to be able to counter that and be able to create separation for their jump shot. And, you got Damian Lillard who will pull at any given moment between, 25 to 40 feet. So you got to cover a lot of ground guarding them.
Now, on that side of the bracket, so the winner of the playing matchup against LA, we'll talk about the Lakers here shortly. But we're going to talk about my favorite series of the first round. The series I've been asking for a couple weeks.
Before we do that, let's answer Mo's question real quick. This is a real quick
questions. Cool.
Yeah. Mo got a good question. He said, would we rather see Memphis and Portland do the full 2 games? Or do we just want to get Portland and LA just ASAP? I'm gonna let MJ go first. Because I know MJ looked like he got something he want to say.
Shoot, I want as much basketball as possible.
Right.
I'm a kid in the candy store. I get to study the game. I get to learn about the game. There's a lot of things that, I have developed as far as theories go, as far as how to be able to usher in a new wave of being able to guard these players like Lillard, like Luka, like Harden. Of course, you're never going to be able to stop them, but at least be able to get timely stops so that you can eventually lead to victories. For a lab guy, this bubble has probably been the best thing that's happened to the NBA in a while for me, because I literally just get to watch hoop without any distractions, without any of the extra theatrics that comes when you're trying to put on a show for 30,000 people. It's just about hoop right now. And the guys that can hoop, they're showing themselves.
What you got, Trav? What you think?
Baseball do a play-in, do they? I think so.
Yeah.
Baseball do a play-in. Why not basketball?
Why not? He's asking
but
specifically just
no, the reason why, what I'm saying is I like to play in. No, I mean, whoever wins, beat me one more time if you the 9th seed. But if you the 8th seed and you the 9th seed and I beat you, ain't no sense of me playing you again. In this case, I like it. I like it because it actually gives that 9th seed some type of hope. It gives some type of hope. So again, I mean, I'm like MJ. I want to see as much. But hey, if Memphis win, oh, this is gonna be real interesting.
Yeah.
This is gonna be real interesting if Memphis win. I mean, I don't see them beating them Saturday, but let Memphis win. Oh, I'm really gonna find the next TV. Sign me up. Sign me up. Sign me up. Like Big Shot say, sign me up. The 4-5 game, sign me up. But if this 8 or 9 game, let Memphis win. Memphis gonna mess around. Hey, you think folks gonna be acting a fool on Beale Street? Them folks gonna be happy just to be in the playoff.
So Big Shot, I'm gonna ask you now, and then you take it right into it.
How about this? I want a Portland LA series only because we know, especially in our group and in the world, there's that fringe lunatic section of the Laker fans that deep down in their soul are
They don't want
afraid,
this. They don't want this.
are absolutely afraid of a series with Damian Lillard. Despite the fact that you got LeBron James, despite the fact that you got Anthony Davis, and there's really nothing you really should be afraid of, there's a portion of that fan base that in their soul wants no parts of having to play Damian Lillard in the playoff series. So just for the banter and to see them to see that section so shook up, I would like to see Portland, LA. And I think it also brings Carmelo and LeBron. We've never, to my recollection, we've never gotten the Carmelo LeBron playoff series. So we finally get that 17 years later. I would be here. So shout out to our Memphis crew. No disrespect, but I do want to see Portland. I actually do want to see Portland, LA. But on that side of the bracket, we got my favorite series. The series I've asked for 3 weeks. I put it in the Facebook group. Basketball guys, you usually don't give us what we want, but now we get it. Oklahoma City and Houston. It's a shame that Russell is out of this first round series. That definitely puts a little bit of cloud on it, but I think purely for the entertainment, the athleticism, the style of play, and just it's competitive because it's the playoffs. But when you got Chris Paul involved with his former team, fellas, I think this is going to be. I would be stunned if this isn't the best first round series. Jerm, I'm gonna send it over to you. Oklahoma City, Houston.
Man, look, this is to sign me up because there's so many good parts of this, man. It is so many good parts of this. Chris Paul was just with James Harden last year. Now we get to come back with it, and now it's like, oh, so you traded me away, huh, cuz? Oh, okay. Now I'm about to bust your ass with your new dude, with the dude who shoot more bricks and be building neighborhoods. It's going down like that. And then I really like the SGA energy that he plays with. I like that kid, and he really started to flourish more than he played with Chris Paul. If it's one dude in this series that I'm gonna have the most fun watching, it's gonna be Steven Adams though. I just want to see how he son PJ Tucker. I don't care what nobody say. That's the one dude that I'm just gonna say when he throw that shoulder into PJ Tucker, gonna be a whole lot of bodies flying because he ain't about to play with you. It's gonna be compact motions, jump hook from either shoulder, any point in the paint. That's what we need to look up. Spoiler: 0 to 3 feet away from the basket. We need to look up him because he's efficient, he's effective, and I think that's the biggest mismatch in the series. Trav, I'm gonna swing it to you.
You said it, man. Sign me up. Sign me up. Sign me up. This is one of these ones, man. I'm gonna say this. You like Shay, Big Blue Nation. Shout out to Big Blue Nation, man.
We can't get away from these dudes, man.
But hey, we just talented like that. It's a factory. It's a factory. But if this man get healthy and he do what he's supposed to do, he's the X factor of this whole series, and that's Russell Westbrook. Right now they saying he out 2 games, but when he come back, and he's still that same aggressive Russell Westbrook, and if he have any kind of way with his matchups and who he's being guarded by, Russ gonna be the X factor, man. I just see Russ being the X factor, and he'll finally move on from the first round since he ain't been out there since what 2017. He ain't been out since 2017, right?
He
So
ain't been out the first round since Durant left.
that's 17.
Yeah.
2016.
17. No,
16.
16.
That's the year that Steph and them because down
No,
3-1.
right.
Yeah,
So
that's the last
17.
time.
That's the last time
he got the
he
first
been
round.
out.
Yeah.
So 17 to
That's his first
now,
year. Yeah.
he ain't been out the first round since.
Yep.
Been a long time. But I never forgot about you. Hey, go ahead, MJ. I'm sorry. Had to throw in that Usher.
I was praising the Lord. I wasn't raising my hand to talk. You were singing. I was praising. I thought we was going there. I thought we was working.
Hey.
I'm just following by as we go along. First off, shout out to the fact that we have the 2-point guard system we implemented with Germ So True showing you what to do, and Big Shot Ron. It's like Schroeder and Chris Paul right now. So with that being said, as I nicely goes into that, and we're talking about the series everybody loves, here's the irony of it. You trade away Chris Paul, and Paul end up having a better record than the team you traded away from. That's kind of the part where we haven't talked about yet. I'm not going to put
within one game. They're within one game of each other, bro.
One
game.
And this was supposed to be a year. I remember writing saying that, you're going to see Chris Paul like surprise people with this team. I did not know that they were going to make the playoffs, nor did I know they was going to be a 4th seed. So, shout out to him for commending himself, commending his body, doing the plant-based diet, getting in great shape, and just, kind of showing flashes of the Chris Paul from New Orleans that we all came to know and love. With all of that being stated, looking at this matchup, this is not a good matchup for Houston at all. And here's the reason why. Chris Paul struggles against Westbrook, but with this lineup that he has, Chris Paul doesn't have to guard Westbrook. Schroeder can guard him. You can hide Chris Paul somewhere else. And with SGA, Harden's going to be Harden. SGA is long enough to at least stay in front of him, and with the pace and space that they play with as far as their offense goes, they're going to be able to get a lot of good shots up. Chris Paul is not going to get rid of it until he finds somebody open. But he also, has gotten to the point where he's trusting his team a little bit more to where he lets them be great as well. So I see this going 7 games. I would be shocked if it go anything less than that. I think OKC probably start off 2-0, but when Brody goes back, he's going to be good for 3 victories out of the next 5, and it's going to be a 3-3 game. And I don't know who's going to win after that point. I think it's going 7 games.
I'm not going to be mad at you. Big Shot. I'm passing you the ball real quick. Go ahead and check it up the court right quick.
2-point guards.
I think, as Trav said, Westbrook's health is the X factor. I think if Westbrook misses significant time in the series, Oklahoma City in 6. I think if Westbrook is able to play, if Westbrook only misses the 2 games that we think, we get the full 7. Oklahoma City, the speed of at which they play, with somebody like Chris Paul, who would just kind of control the tempo and direct people, it's going to be tough. This is. I just think it's a fascinating matchup, Jeremy. You talked about Steven Adams. See, here's another factor. Can the Rockets get Steven Adams off the floor? Can the Rockets, with the small ball, get him off the floor? Can they make him unplayable? Because we saw what Golden State did to Houston the last 2 years. They basically made Clint Capella null and void.
Mm-hmm.
Clint Capella was basically benched, essentially, in them series. Can Houston make Steven Adams get off the floor? Can you can they make Oklahoma City downside? Well, yes, Schroeder, SGA, Paul, but maybe now you got to almost play Gallinari at the 5. Maybe you got to take one of them younger wings and make them play the 4 because we can't play Steven Adams. So I think it's chess match. Is can they do it? If Houston can make Oklahoma City get small up front, it's to their advantage. But if they can't get Steven Adams off the floor, if Steven Adams is the factor that he will be if he's allowed to stay on that floor, it could be another, instead of home by Mother's Day, it's home by Labor Day.
It's a lot of scheming. It's a lot of scheming going on in this matchup also.
Mm-hmm.
Like MJ said, as far as Chris Paul don't have to guard Russell when Russell get back. But another thing is PJ Tucker don't necessarily have to guard Adams. He can be guarded by Jeff Green. And what Jeff Green does, he can stretch out Adams because that makes Adams guarding.
Yep.
That way, your drive to the lanes is butt naked. And who's the dribbling mom that's going to get to the rack? Or he going to step back and tray ball you? He's going to draw a foul. That's number 13. It's number 13.
Hey, and check this out. We haven't even mentioned the benches yet, but you did just bring up Jeff Green. So since you bring up Jeff Green, I'm gonna bring Nerlens Noel off the bench when I see Jeff Green. He's fleet of foot. He's a rangy shot blocker. He can play the weak side. And if Steven Adams can't play, you're gonna have stretches in the game where you're gonna be able to play Nerlens Noel because on those pick and roll and those switches, Nerlens can get out and stay in front of Harden and things of that nature. And then on the trail, he can get some of those chase down blocks on the aspect of being able to do things in the half court. So this is a good matchup because a lot of the pieces actually do favor Oklahoma City because even off the bench, you only bringing in Jeff Green, and then we're hoping that Eric Gordon is ready because that's another factor. Mm-hmm. Then we haven't named the fact that Schroeder is not a part of the series yet either. So if Schroeder could be coming back as well, that gives another wrinkle for Oklahoma City off the bench. And then when they go to that when they go to that 3-guard lineup with Gallinari at the 4 and Noel or Steven Adams at the 5, that's going to be the one lineup that I think Houston, without Eric Gordon, is going to have the hardest time matching up against. Because I don't think PJ Tucker wants any parts of Dennis Schroeder when he take them 2 steps back and go to the half court line and take those 2 nice power dribbles and get ready to meet. It could get emotional. It could get emotional. MJ, you on mute, bro?
You on mute, MJ? There you go.
Oh no, I was off mute because I didn't want to interrupt. I was flowing. I didn't want to interrupt what y'all was talking about. I didn't want to cut y'all off. But no, just going back to what Big Shot said about can Steven Adams stay on the floor. I absolutely think he can. I mean, in that 2016 series we spoke on, Golden State never got him off the floor. He can guard his positions relatively well. And I think that 2016 Golden State team was more potent between positions 3, 4, and 5 than this Houston team is, as far as having to worry about people. So if Steven Adams got to make a decision between letting PJ Tucker shoot a contested corner 3 because he can be able to guard the paint when they kick it out, he can get out and at least put a hand up. If PJ Tucker's going to average 25 like that, then yeah, you do need to get him off the floor because you need somebody to get out there quicker. But when has PJ Tucker ever just really made you pay from the perimeter?
Like 2 or 3
Never
games.
happened to Fasad. So in the playoffs, when you go into these playoffs, it's different when it's the regular season because you don't have time to prepare for the playoffs like that. But now, or unless you're Toronto Raptors know how to prepare for everything. I have no idea what they be doing, but their attention to detail on defense is one I haven't seen in a while. Anyway, since you can really key in, it's like Steven Adams, we could tell you, like, you know what? Yeah, he can shoot in the corner, but mix it up when you're, protecting the paint and closing out. You don't have to necessarily just guard this one way. because that guy in the corner, if he scores 30 points on us, we probably weren't going to win that game anyway.
That's fair. I can't really say. PJ Tucker scored 27 points. Big shot, and I'm going to pass you the ball. If PJ Tucker scored 27 points and the Rockets lose, you just tip your hat. You just be
tip your cap.
Yeah. Hey, cool.
All right, we're going to swing down to the bottom half of the bracket. And both of these series, well, one series I think is pretty cut and dry. But I think there's larger issues afloat. So let's start there. I think the Clippers will handle Dallas. I think as brilliant as Luka is, I think the Clippers can get through that series relatively unscathed. However, I think there's real questions about the Clippers because if you look at no team in the bubble has had more things going on that have nothing to do with basketball than the Clippers. And I'm not even going to get into the whole Lou Williams and the Magic scene. We're not even talking about that. You've had Lou Williams has left the bubble at some point. Montrezl Harrell has left the bubble at some point. Patrick Beverly left the bubble at some point. They haven't been together as a team. They probably had the least amount of time together in the bubble of any team. So, yes, I'm picking the Clippers to beat Dallas. But I am not as sure on the Clippers getting out the West as I was pre-bubble, let's say. Fellas, I don't know what you think about that, but Doc is going to have to really do some coaching and pulling some guys together for the Clippers to get out the West. Jerm, I see you giving me hand signals. That means you must got something. What you got?
I got 4-0. Hey, this is just not Dallas year. I like some of the pieces. I think honestly, I think this is remember, we said guard play, right? Guard play. We talked about guard play being so important. I trust Patrick Beverly, Landry Shamet, Reggie Jackson, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Twin more than I trust most people on the perimeter, the majority of the teams in the West, outside of our 3-guard lineups that we got in Houston and our sign them up series. Okay. Then of course you got your LeBrons. Of course you got those guys. Of course you got Dame, because I think it's inevitable. I think, Thanos, it's inevitable, But I think overall, man, they just got too many bodies they can throw at Luka. And that's a problem. The only mismatch is KCP. But we all know if he's shooting jumpers, his even as good as he's shooting the jumper, it's only so many threes he's gonna make in a game. He's not gonna go 16 for 16 from 3. He may go 7 for 16. He may get you 21 from there and then get you 38 for the game. Luka give you 38, but then where's everybody else points at? Where's Finley Smith's points? Because that's who you're gonna try to put on Kawhi. Kawhi gonna get him 30 and call it a day. Go crack a brew on the bench. We seen what Paul George has been shooting like in this bubble. Paul George catches shooting this bubble. It's water. It ain't no nothing else that we need to say. That's been the most consistent part of Paul George's game, has been him shooting the jumper off the catch and shoot. And they got guards that can set him up. Another problem is I ain't even say Lou Williams' name yet. He ain't even played well since he came back from the funeral. When he start playing better, it's gonna be another funeral. Cause then who you gonna guard? It's bad. 4-0. 4-0. 40.
Let me go ahead and get in this.
40.
40. All right. Let me go ahead and get in this. I remember Luka Doncic coming to the NBA and they asked him how's the NBA, and he stated that it's easier to score in the NBA than it is overseas. I think he should have corrected himself and said it's easier to score in the NBA regular season than it is overseas. He is about to see what life is really like when you're the man in that playoffs and you got to see Kawhi and you set a pick on Kawhi and you got Paul George blitzing. Then you got Patrick Beverly hounding you full court and flopping and getting underneath your skin and barking at you and talking to you. And then if you just happen to get around all of them, you still got to see Joakim Noah at the rim, Zubek at the rim, Montrezl Harrell at the rim, even Michael Green at the rim, waiting. These dudes may not be like the best, but they have a lot of pride, and they are not about to let you make them look silly. They're just not. The one thing that I can say about the Clippers, despite all of the distractions, is Doc Rivers has been around in this game for a while. And I remember during that Boston year where they won, I remember it was a lot going on there too. His rotations wasn't sure yet. Sometimes he played Sam Cassell, which during that time I didn't agree with, over Eddie House. It was a lot going on in which they was trying to still kind of figure it out on the fly. I mean, Atlanta took them 7 games, Cleveland took them 7 games. Like, people forget that was not an easy championship for Boston, but they found a way to persevere because they did it together, and Doc Rivers didn't panic. And, you know, to be honest, this is the same team it was last year. He called themselves, he's like, they like roaches. He's like, we ain't going nowhere. And the core and the culture has already been established. We're just going to be tougher than you. And if that's going to be the culture, then when the Lakers see them, they're going to have to be just as tough, or they may not make it out. So, you know, going back to the Dallas series, this is a learning experience for him. Luka had a great year. Go back, get in the lab, get better, get tougher, get a little bit stronger, understand that playoff basketball is not regular season basketball, and go ahead and learn from the best, because number 2 is about to teach you a lot of things.
Trav, what you got for us?
Remember in 90, can y'all hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Remember in 92
I knew it was coming.
in Dream Team when Tony Kukoc was presented as the man in as far as the European hooping, and all of a sudden he ran against 2 dogs that his owner was basically prepping him up, and they was like, nah, I'm gonna get him. Nah, I'm gonna get him. You finna see Kawhi Leonard and Paul George go straight California love on that man. Luka gonna get some points. Don't get it twisted. He know how to score. But when they come down to them hands and length, touching that man, it's gonna be a problem. This series should be short. Can Dallas make it fun? Yes, because they do have unexpected shooters on their team that can make it happen. But as long as you got that unicorn on the defensive end, not the offensive end, the defensive end, he played Dame Lillard off that screen roll pathetically, if that's even a word. He played that terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. You think Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and Lou Williams ain't gonna be licking their chops?
Shoot, Lou and Trail by themselves. Lou and Trail on the low is Stockton and Malone on the low. And they coming off the bench.
Off the bench.
Off the bench.
Off the bench.
Off the
That's
bench.
crazy.
Off the bench. You think the unicorn now he gonna come down and do a nice he gonna trail, he gonna pick and pop, he gonna pick and roll. He may get a couple of lobs. That's just a unicorn. I'm not gonna short him on this offensive end, but this defensive end, he's a liability.
Yeah.
You pay what?
Ability.
What you pay for full insurance? You probably pay what, $230 for the liability. You probably pay $89. Need $89.
Yeah, you better drive.
You call that man SR52.
Hey,
he general.
I got something for you.
He's the liability. He's the liability insurance in a RAV4.
Hey, stop playing. Stop playing with that man like that.
Hey,
he's 7'2".
Hey, man. Face the facts. Face the facts. Snakes eat rats, man. It's going to happen.
Like? Hey, what's your life like?
Hey, man.
KCP, what's your life like?
That's tough.
Hey, man, they gonna be at that, man.
Porzingis ain't bent down into a stance since I don't know how long. I don't even think he's ever done it.
Ever.
So it's like you can only move so fast straight up. Like,
Yo, that's crazy.
Hey, remember when Kevin Durant was going at Kevin Love 2017?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
told y'all that was gonna happen. That's the same thing that's gonna happen to Kristaps Porzingis.
Hey,
They
hey, that
coming.
not to be funny, but to be real, that really had an effect on Kevin Love's anxiety. Just straight up.
Oh,
Because
see,
it's like this is like what I gotta deal with. You know what I
Bruh.
mean?
see,
It would
come
have got me
on.
too.
Listen, come
Ain't
on,
no
man.
shame. Y'all know I'm
Why
an
you
advocate
gotta?
for mental
You
health.
just gonna come with a steel chair? You gonna come with the
Hey,
steel chair out from under the ring? And just hit them, man.
I'll
so,
distract the
yeah, just
I'll
hit
distract the
blocker.
ref too.
Hey,
It's always that one dude distracting the ref while the other bad guy is pretty much doing all the
yeah,
dirt.
yep.
The ref
Yeah,
never
Means,
turned his
hey, that's how it
That's
happened.
horseman style right there.
Yeah, the ref never turned his head.
shout out Ham coming out from under the ring like that.
Hey,
So
I was there tonight.
So Ham,
They cut Jerry Lawler hair, and Tommy Rich was into the ring for the whole show. I was
so
there.
so Ham, I was disrespectful. I was the disrespectful person out of the whole panel. You know how Jeremy is, just disrespectful. I came and said
No
I
lynch.
said a 40. I said a gentleman's 40. That means 4-0. We do not pass go. We do not collect $200. We just gonna get them out the bubble because they've been here too long. It was time for them to go home. So it's on you actually to give us your prediction for the series. Clippers, Mavericks. What you got?
Hey, with this, man. I'm not gonna go away from the general chalk with this one, but we can get some fun activity out of this one because we got two dudes
Well,
that's
we
on
got
the
a cold
seven
question to
seed.
y'all.
We got a 7 seed with two dudes that's averaging 30 in the bubble. And they got another dude that can go get 25 and 30 with Hardaway Jr. They got Seth. They got Dorian. They got hoopers in Dallas. So, but it's way too many guns over there on the other side. And I like Carlisle in a coaching matchup against a lot of cats. Doc just got too much to work with. I'm gonna rock with stay with the chalk, man. Clippers is about 6. Good competitive, fun, 6, entertaining, good highlights. Luca, here, behind his back, he getting funky with it. But they'll be out of the bubble by Labor Day.
before we get to the next series, Jern, what questions we got?
All
With the
right,
people
so
talking, look, we gotta talk back.
Mr. Chef says, he said, it seems like the time off has been a blessing in disguise for most teams.
Yeah.
Energy has been very good in the bubble. Do you think there is a team in which the time off has or had a negative impact on? I got a team, but go ahead. I'm gonna let y'all go.
Memphis, just because of the youth, rookie head coach, young crew. It was almost like going back to November again.
I know y'all covered the East Coast, but I'm
But
gonna say
before my bad, MJ, but they didn't play terrible. They competed. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, with the 2 wins that they got, they played great. Played well enough to get another 2 and they dropped, but that was just you speaking to everything. So I ain't mad at it, but that time off hurt.
Who did you say, MJ?
I said I don't want to go back to the Eastern Conference because y'all covered that, and I don't want to stay long on it. But I think the Sixers, it hurt the Sixers a lot.
Yeah,
Not just because Ben Simmons getting hurt. I think it just exposed the fact that they never really had the same camaraderie. They never believed in their coach. And when you're going to be around nothing but your teammates and your coach in a bubble, you can't go home and get away from that. You can't go to your family or go to your place of serenity or your place of peace to be able to detox from that and then be able to show up to work. If it's an environment that's not really conducive for your best, then it's going to show in your play. And I think the chickens came home to roost in Philly. Like one of probably the most pivotal moments, I think it was their first couple of games when Embiid said something to Shake Milton, and Shake Milton looked like he wanted to steal him. And that right there had a lot because it looked like that was brewing for a while. You could tell a person like when they just had enough versus a person that's just crazy. Like a guy like Vernon Maxwell was just crazy. J.R. Smith, they just don't got it. So you kind of just don't talk to them at all. But you could tell Shake Milton probably was dealing with that for about 60 games on the low, behind the scenes in the locker room. And finally, he just couldn't take it no more. I mean, with everybody else bonding and blending in and, loving on each other in this bubble, you can't have a team that don't like being around each other. It's going to expose yourself. So I think that's the one thing that we don't talk about enough in the bubble is the fact that not all of these NBA teams like being around each other. Not all of these teams, they got talent, but not all of them have chemistry. Not all of them like playing with each other. Not all of them believe in their coach. And we're seeing that.
Big Shot, you got anybody?
I don't know if I can't think everybody's hurt. I think those are some great answers. I think what I'm interested in seeing is, we talked about this earlier in the week, is when does the 4.5 months kick in? When does the 4.5 months off kick in? Because the quality of ball, like most said, has been really good. But now we're about to see who got their sea legs under. This is where now conditioning is going to take place because, yes, the time off is going to kick in on somebody. And I think who is able, honestly, health is important no matter when, no matter what you play. But I think who's in shape and who's in condition, I think. So to me, that's going to be a big factor as far as who gets hurt is literally who's in shape to do it. Because taking a 4.5 month break during the middle of a season is just not normal. And now guys are really kind of starting to get back into shape, and we about to play the most important ball of the year. So I think that's going to be a big factor.
I'm gonna give you a player, and people are gonna get mad at me when I say this, but I don't care. The player who I think has been affected by this a little bit more than people may want to give credit for is LeBron.
I know
LeBron ain't been his, he hasn't been himself, and it's not saying that he's been bad. It's just saying, for example, LeBron is normally 55+% from the field. He's normally making some of those layups and things of those natures. LeBron has shot, except for 2 games in this entire restart, the entire 8 games, he has shot under 50% in every game except for 1 or 2.
Quick question, John.
LeBron, yes.
How many times you seen Beyonce perform in the elevator?
I don't remember ever. No, I don't remember it ever.
Some people, even though they can sing, some people are better performers, and you get the best out of them when they get to perform.
Mm-hmm.
Some hoopers can hoop, but some of them are entertainers to the point where you get the best out of them when they get to entertain in front of big crowds. We all talk about how it's great for the young people that they don't got to be able to play in front of the heckling. It's actually the opposite for LeBron, in my opinion. I think he's getting bored. It's mundane for him. I think, him playing in front of 30,000 people, whether they're booing him or cheering him, has a lot to do with his energy level. I really do. And I don't see it with any other player but him. And I understand it because, this dude been the chosen one since his freshman year of high school. He's been playing in front of sellout arenas, since middle school, I guess. Going back to the AAU thing, the AAU was just, a formality for the summer. Even then, those were packed. So now it's just you and hoop, and everybody is coming after you. You got to remember, too, it's not like he ain't on top of the mountain either.
That's fair. That's fair. Like I said, I'm not against the man. I think at the end of the day, we're just seeing from the level of basketball that we see LeBron play. It's been some jumpers that he normally takes that he's not making right now. It's the small things right now. But you know what? Remember, we got some time to figure this out. He got a series coming up to figure this out. If LeBron figure it out, he's gonna be LeBron. He's still LeBron even if he don't figure it out. Because he's still a handful and a half to guard, regardless. Melo's still gonna have to account for him. I'm just assuming that Portland is going, but I told y'all, I'm sorry, Memphis, it's time, y'all,
That's the most interesting part about the whole thing is that it's that kind of a case study. Just as you just noted, Jerm, the stuff that he's normally taking and making, he's not. But it does go, it's a psychological, where it goes, because this is why he was like, yo, we need the fans there, because that's his stage. For him to just do what he do. And now it's just like he going to Rico Hines spot
Mhm.
for a glorified, but at the same time, it's the real deal. It's the
Yeah.
show. It's you need 16 dubs. You know what I'm saying? To get you need 12 to get there, you need 16 to close it out. And that's that cycle. It's tough for him to get up for that because it's like a glorified scrimmage in some way, probably for him mentally. I don't know, just my guess. But
Hey,
just
Jern.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
Jern.
listen to that
Repeat
song, man.
that. Repeat that question again. Repeat that
Which one?
question. The one
Oh,
that
this
you
one is
said
good.
with Mo.
He got another one up here too that I'm
The
gonna ask
one
y'all when you
before.
make.
The one
I got
before
you.
though.
I got you.
Who affects
He
about
said basically.
Leo?
He said, "Who do you think who do you think basically team wise was affected the most by the time off?"
You may be surprised of the two answers that I'm gonna get. I wasn't. I was in that room when y'all did the Eastern Conference, but my Eastern Conference pick, of course. I mean, I would have said the 76ers, but Boston was kind of affected about that. They was affected. I will go into detail about that a little later, but my Western Conference pick, you're gonna be surprised when I say this. The Clippers. The Clippers. One thing is, let's just put this out here. If COVID wasn't here, do you think Lou Williams would get in trouble going to the strip club getting some chicken?
Nope.
Do you think Montrezl Harrell would have went home because of his parents were sick of COVID?
When they had to, hopefully.
A lot of this COVID, it made a turn for the worse. Although these are family problems and family issues. Another thing, why did Patrick Beverly went home? He had to go home because of death in his family because of COVID, correct?
Right.
All these things that's happening, they was just gelling at the right time for the playoffs. With the layoff concern, Kawhi legs was flat that first game. Flat, flat. Paul George wasn't in rhythm like that. They wasn't in rhythm. Just when they was getting in rhythm, that 4 month layoff hit. And they was destined to be at least at the Western Conference Finals. I still got them in the Western Conference Finals. So, but it hit them. But now these are the two teams that are merging at the right time also. I mean, like we said last time when we was on, somebody need to know their role. Like the other team that I picked, which is the Clippers, have a guys that know their role and they're gonna know they knowing their role at the right time. So those are my two teams that I picked.
I got you. So hey,
I like it.
Big Shot.
Yo.
We're gonna roll with the next thing. I'm gonna ask a question, then we're gonna roll to the next thing. So Chef, he in his bag tonight. He got questions.
Uh-oh.
He said, so would you rather youth over veterans in the bubble or vice versa?
Mm.
I'm gonna start, if y'all don't mind. I'm gonna start real quick.
Go
I
ahead.
like the youth because this helps them get over the psychological hurdle of playing in front of the fans and against some of the cats that they grew up idolizing. Like I like the way Kuz has played in this bubble scenario. He just going out there hooping. I like the way Gary Trent Jr. going out here just shooting that three. I can tell when it's going in and when it's not because it's just his body aim, the body language and the formula and the way he's shooting it. It's all great for the younger players, I think, because they need that more than anything else. So I'm gonna swing it over to MJ.
I think it doesn't have to do with youth or any of that. I think it just has to do with hunger. Right now, this is the Hunger Games, and anybody who got something to prove is showing it. I mean, T.J. Warren ain't necessarily a young guy, but he had everything to prove in this bubble, and he sure as hell proved it. Devin Booker is a younger guy, but he's been in the league long enough for us to be able to, look at him a certain way and expect certain things. But the energy level that he played with was just different. Dame Lillard, he ain't a young guy. Chris Paul, he's not a young guy. Like, it's really just about who, not to say if you're not playing well, you don't love basketball, but this is getting guys to their purest form. I can honestly tell y'all that basketball is probably the best gateway to anything that you're going through that you're going to play if you know how to play it and if you've played it in a while. Even if you don't know how to play it, you can go to a course, shoot around, clear your mind. It's extremely therapeutic and tranquil. So with all of this that's going on, with this COVID, with all of this, I feel like the players who really like love hoop is taking them back to those days in which they may not have had, something to eat on the table, or they may not have, liked a certain person at school that they wanted to knock out, but they couldn't knock them out because they had just suspended. So they went to that court and just shot their anger away. I think it's really just about hunger right now, and it's getting people back to their roots, So as long as that's going to happen, I mean, the better player and the better execution is going to win. I don't think it's going to be a young versus old at all. I just think everybody is really hungry right now. And the ones who aren't hungry, they're going to get exposed.
Trav.
Yes, sir.
What do you think? What do you think? Veterans? You think this is better for veterans? You think this is better for the youth? What do you think?
We had to talk about this a while back. A lot of these young guys are going to step up because they don't have the crowd to hinder them. Young guys, I mean, the vets gonna be the vets. The vets just know how to handle situations. The vets know what's going to be thrown, but it's making these young guys better because they're seeing the game now. They don't have the distractions of fans knocking their concentration off. They gonna hoop. This setting is a young fella settings. It's an AAU type of feel. These folks out here, they just hooping. They hooping. I mean, I heard TJ Warren, but TJ Warren been doing this. He been doing this. But for him to be zeroed in without the fans and the heckling and all this stuff, he locked in. He was slick locked in for a moment. Hoop was gonna hoop, but this very much goes for it's advantage young guys. Get your experience up, and then all of a sudden you're gonna be going to gyms, and you're gonna be going to stadiums, and now instead of your fans booing you all the time or being like, oh, okay, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, my guy here, he was the third option. Oh, he's jumping up to being the second option now. I mean, it just built that confidence. That confidence was built. That confidence was very much built with the setting like this. I mean, shoot, look at the TBT. Joe Johnson was off in there, but some young guys beat him. They beat him. And Joe been grooving the whole year. This was Joe Johnson year. But shit, them young guys got a hold on, man. Young guys got a hold on. And them same young guys end up winning the championship.
Ham, what you think?
So I think it's good for the young guys.
What you said, True. What you said, MJ. What Trav just said. All of that, and it just, I think it's that combination, man, and it just comes down to like championship basketball balance. You got the right balance of everything. That's what's going to win this. The best set of balance of everything that there, the youth, the hunger, the veteran leadership, the everything. It's all right there on the table. But the adjustment is just from it being out of the norm, which is me personally. Trav alluded to it earlier when when he spoke about the teams that struggle. Well, this is why, because it's the circumstances was just unforeseen, so it made everything that crazy. But you need that balance to maintain and push through.
So I think more than anything here in this situation, I think we all can kind of. I like what MJ said about the hunger aspect of it, just to throw that in there, because hunger is a huge part of that. Because this is a hunger game gym. Let's be clear about that. Only difference is that ain't no bleachers. It's just your teammates. So Big Shot, what you got? What you think?
Now I want the veterans because it was all fine the first 3 weeks when we were playing for seedings and all that. Now we playing for the money, and a series that we about to talk about that's probably gonna be like the least watched series in the playoffs. I think is an example of this, and that's Utah versus Denver. Denver has done more just bringing dudes out of nowhere than anybody in the bubble. They bringing people out that fan cam, and they averaging 20. People I've never heard of. But now, them dudes are playing. Now we playing for money. Michael Porter Jr. has looked great. Bowl 2 has looked great. But now we playing for seasons now. When you were playing Washington and Sacramento and Brooklyn in the bubble, it was fine. I want the veterans. I want the people that have been there and who know what it's like to prepare over the course of the series, which is why I am picking Utah to beat Denver in this series. Why? Everybody don't look. I am picking Utah. This is one upset I'm picking. I like Utah's savvy. Mike Conley looks like now he's kind of gotten comfort with how Utah plays, working on Donovan Mitchell. Jokic is a handful, absolutely, but I think Rudy Gobert can't shut him down, but he can play him one-on-one, which means it gives less space for everybody to work off of. I'm picking Utah to beat Denver.
You got to count?
It is probably going to be Utah and Denver is the like and Ham can feel this one because Ham is a TBS guy like me from back in the day. Utah and Denver is like the Friday night game on TBS that nobody watched. It came on like 10:30 at night, and you probably wasn't supposed to be up watching because you ain't really old enough. That's gonna be Utah and Denver. So I like Utah's to this veteran youth question. I like Conley. I like Donovan. I like Slow Joe. Talk about ISO Joe. You got Slow Joe Ingles. And I think they got enough pieces for a really good Denver team. Denver's actually been one of the more fun teams to watch in the bubble. But give me them old heads in Utah in that series.
Ham, what you think? I'm gonna let Ham go since y'all was watching for unforbidden basketball at 10:30 at night.
La Bamba.
This how I got to learn about Alex English and Adrian Dantley that young. So fair enough. I feel you, Big Shot. I feel you on that. And you almost made me change my pick. Just based on that, because it's like, yo, veteran point guard that's been through the fire. I love Spider. Spider is probably the only dude. The only dude that worked harder than Spider to score is Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? But I like what Spider brings. You know what I'm saying? He cool. But it's just so many weapons with Denver though, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, they got real heat. They young. They got real heat. And the way they got bounced out last year, they went 7, lost it on the home floor. That's a tough one to swallow, but you know what I'm saying? Now, not saying they go get Benny past past round 2 up there, but I like them in 7 in this first one. I think Utah can push it to 7. You know what I'm saying? Just to make it fun and interesting because everything's wide open. Quinn Snyder gonna look like he gonna drink probably about 3, 4 pots of coffee. You know what I'm saying? Take every non-sleep drug. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't look like he getting no rest, man. He never did. Even 30 years ago when he was at Duke, he didn't look like he getting rest. 35 years ago,
I
still
know,
look
right?
like this. You know, and but he's a hell of a coach. You know what I'm saying? I can give him his due on that. You know, with Mike Malone, I like what he got. It's just, yo, how you gonna play with these young weapons you got, Chief? Case study.
MJ.
Okay. um, can I drop a name real quick?
Go ahead. Do you?
Go ahead.
Let me
Jordan.
cook.
Inside joke, y'all. Jordan Clarkson. That's the name I'm dropping. What he does in that series will depend on whether or not Utah wins. I have no idea if they're going to win. He is the real X factor. Here's the reason why. Because like J Ham eloquently mentioned, Donovan Mitchell works extremely hard to score. But Jordan Clarkson coming off that second unit, he don't work as hard as he used to. It's actually looking easy. Like that pickup from Cleveland, that was a sneaky good pickup because they needed some type of dynamic to be able to just a wild X factor like a Ginobili type dude who just come in and be like, I don't need a play ran for me. I don't need to, wait in this corner. I can if you want me to, but if you need me to go get one, I'm gonna go get one, and it ain't gonna even take a lot for me to get one. And Jordan Clarkson has gotten to the point where his game is really like that right now. If you need to get him to the basket, he'll get you to the basket. Left, right, don't matter. He'll walk in and pull up a 3 in your eye in a minute. And the way Coach Snyder actually wants to play is he wants to play fast. So, I think Jordan Clarkson is going to be an X factor in that because if you're going against Denver, who got a lot of young legs, even though I think they play way slower than what they should be playing with all of that youth. If you got Denver who wants to methodically break you down and let Jokic pick you apart, you're going to need to get quick, easy buckets. The best way to get quick, easy buckets is to have goons that's going to go get it. And in that full court area, Jordan Clarkson is a huge X factor. If Jordan Clarkson, I'll say this, I don't know who's going to win this series. I'm gonna go no. But if Jordan Clark averages 20 or more, Utah wins.
Prav, what's your life like?
Man. Bo. Jesus Christ. If I could take 7 steps and be from one end to the court to the other end, there's nothing you can do with me. Bo is an impressive dude. We were just talking about the younger guys getting confidence. Michael Porter Jr. and Bo was affected by this in a good way. Extra rest, they ready to play. These are two made up 2K21 players. They ready. They ready. Give me Denver. Give me Denver 4-2, man. Give me Denver 4-2. Give me Denver 4-2.
Big Shot, he gotta come, he gotta start something. I thought I was the most disrespectful dude on the panel. Then Big Shot said that. But no, I don't feel like that was even disrespect. You know what? I'm gonna say something. If there's any team that Utah is gonna have a good chance against, it's gonna be Denver. Because like MJ alluded to. See, I wanted to go last on this one because I knew MJ was gonna set me up. I knew Trav was gonna set me up. I knew Big Shot, and I knew y'all had the style of play. You said you hit the nail on the head when you say they play too slow for them to have so much youth, so many young guys. They play so slow. And that actually works for Jordan Clarkson and Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley, especially Mike Conley. We're going to call him Captain Conley because when he's on the court, we all know who's the captain. But at the end of the day, now this gives us an opportunity now for us to look at this matchup into the deeper ends of it. And me and Trav call him Larry Joe Ingles. We don't call him Slow Joe. We call him Larry Joe Ingles. That's what we call him.
Ingles, man.
He's a lefty too, and he a lefty too. So you already know what that means. It's different. I think that is a really, really, really interesting dude in this series because when he's on the floor, it's no rushing. The offense is going to be in structure. He's normally the de facto second guy who handles the ball after Conley or when Spider on the bench, and he makes solid decisions. These are things that we know Jamal Murray gonna throw the ball away a couple of times in a game. We know he's gonna make some bad choices, which is why they put him in that 1-5 pick and roll, and then they hit the high and then that low pass right there at the high post, so they can get a high post or free throw line, so Joker can get it and put his butt up like this and put the ball up. Pause. That's what happened. They put the ball in Jokic's hands because he's the best decision maker. He's the best playmaker. I'm going to say that I see Utah winning this series. I can see it. I'm a visionary. I can see it. The only problem is I don't know if they're going to score enough points. Even if Clarkson scored the 20 that MJ suggested, it's going to be tough because Joker is so good at making plays. If Paul Millsap knocked down 2 corner threes per game, that means they got to respect Paul Millsap this series. That's another problem because that means that's better floor spacing. Now Michael Porter Jr., who probably is the most efficient scorer they're going to have on that Denver basketball team outside of Joker. 6'11", and you can't do nothing with him.
Hey.
MJ, am I lying?
No, you're not. And you know what? I love when we're at disagreements. This is the first time in a while we've been indifferent.
Yeah.
I love this. I'm going to say this, though, about the Denver Nuggets. Who's the best player in that series? Go ahead and say it. It's okay.
It's
Jokic.
Joker.
I was trying to think and just try to give somebody else some love.
It's Joker.
But yeah, it's him. It's
Joker, right? If the best player in the series is a playmaker and the game is about making sure that my man can score, do I really trust him to carry a series? Because when have we ever seen Jokic shoot more than 15 times? This is the playoffs, baby. I don't got time to make
that's interesting.
I'm gonna tell you, with Rudy Gobert,
remember last year,
what?
Against Portland in Game 7 last year.
How many shots he take?
That came down to Dame and CJ. To MJ's point, Jokic as a playmaker big is real tough to play off of. Like, that's tough if the game gets close.
Oh man, y'all making me want to watch this series.
Dude,
you supposed to watch this series.
No, I'm saying really watch it.
No,
I'm putting on my lab. I'm putting on my lab glasses.
You supposed to put your glasses, get your white coat, get your pen, your pocket, your pen patch right here. Get your name tag on the right. Watch this. Watch it.
Hey,
watch it. Because as much as we say Jamal, hey, put the name tag on the right, man. If as much as we say Jamal Murray blows up as far as competitiveness and like throwing the ball away, I just seen Jamal Murray work. I just seen Jamal and Jokic work that screener, that ball handle, that dribble handle. I just seen them folks work that to perfection. I just seen it work to perfection.
And when it's working, that means Jamal popping that 3, and Joker getting a chance to roll.
He ain't even popping threes. He popping 2s.
The cold part about it is that they can run it either way.
They can run it either way.
For him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the cold part about it. It's like, okay.
Oh man, this is a good. This may be. Hey,
and I'm finna
into a sign me up series. This started into a sign me up series. Big
and check this out.
Man, why ain't one of y'all running for president?
This is not a regular series. This ain't your regular 3 versus 6 matchup.
No,
It
it's
is.
not.
It's
It
really a
is.
4-5. It's really a 4-5.
It's a 4-5.
Really,
It's a 4-5.
But do you
And-
realize how good these teams
And I'm gonna tell you,
gotta
and
be
I'm gonna
for us to be
add,
saying that? This is how good the West is every year.
and
Every year.
Germ, let me put you on something else. You know how Jamal Murray get those backdoor cuts, right?
Absolutely.
Because he be on because first of all, defense is being played to trail. If that person is hot, they try to deny. And when they deny, he goes up like he's going to get the ball on the handoff. He cuts back door.
right.
That's when Jamal
It's like a
Murray
slip.
get them dunk-ons and
Just
stuff
like a
like
slip.
that. So yeah, it's a slip because he gonna get that right hand or that left hand, depending on what side he on. He gonna give him a little shove. That defensive guy is gonna go opposite. That's a backdoor cut. Jamal Murray with the bam.
Quick question, y'all. When was the last
Jokic,
playmaking big to win a title?
Bill Walton.
Tim
Walton.
Duncan.
We say Walton or Duncan.
I'll even go
I was
Duncan.
just missing.
I'll go Duncan.
I go Duncan in. Do you want to say 14? Or do you want to say Duncan in
LeBron James.
2007?
Listen though. That just proves my point. The fact that we have to ask maybe not Duncan. The fact that only 2 names popped up in y'all head. The fact that he had to name a small forward. It don't
Who
happen.
was playing the 4 in them years in Miami, so that's why I named him.
Playing a 1. So it's like
Yeah.
you can't count him because he's playing a 1 right now.
Yeah.
So I'm proving my point right here. Not to say it's not possible to happen. It's very tough. My best player needs
It's
to
tough.
put the ball in the basket. And I
I
don't
got-
trust
Why it's a guard's
I got-
game, baby.
I got
It's cute when he shoot that 3 at the top of the key, like Billy Hoyle. It's
I got a
cute
question
when
for that.
he do a Euro step. It's cute. But fourth quarter, 2 minutes to go, game time.
Billy
You ain't giving me
Hoyle.
no bucket. You give
I
me
got
That
a
man out of bounds right there. He almost made me lose my water.
I got a
Jake,
question for that.
What you got?
I got a question for that. Which one is it tougher for? The playmaking big, or the guard that's under like 6'4"? That's the best
It's-
player on the team.
I'm glad you mentioned that because it's completely even. But as of right now, I can name a 6'4" guard who has recently won.
Man.
It's true.
You can name a guard that won, and that's
You
true.
got Zeke name and Steph.
I'll say this about the series too.
Yeah.
Jokic is the best player in the series.
Mm.
Well, if this game is close, it's a close game, and you say Jokic or Donovan Mitchell to get us over the finish line,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm taking Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell in the last quarter in the bubble. Now, I've watched every Utah game, y'all. The last quarter in every bubble game has played the best in the last quarter. He has
Donovan,
4 shots and been terrible in the first 3 quarters. And in the fourth quarter, he has been exceptional. I'm not even gonna look. I'm gonna give that man his credit, but I'm talking about he was. You know how when you be playing 2K and somebody be rushing their jumpers and it just be looking like this. That man didn't rush for 3 quarters, but that fourth quarter come. Now he started no looking. Now the jumper falling. Big shot. Keep going. Keep on preaching.
I got a question. Hold on. Before that, I got a question for all y'all.
I'm all in.
Do y'all trust Jimmy Butler as a closer? As tough it's like when he shoots, he lift weights while he's shooting.
Hey, I don't trust Jimmy Butler as a closer, but I do trust if he has a good point guard to put him there.
There you go.
I trust the Dragon. I trust Dragon as a closer.
There you go. Donovan Mitchell in the same boat.
Which is, I was about to say that's the same thing with Donovan.
Donovan Mitchell's in the same.
Well, what if I
It's
told you?
like- freaking
like
I'm talking about-
Butler
it's
in the
like-
first 3 quarters and Dwayne Wade in the fourth though. That's why it's hard.
Right. But man, it hurts me to watch Jimmy Butler score. It hurts me to watch Donovan Mitchell score.
Yeah, Donovan.
You cannot be powered. You cannot, man. Sometimes Donovan Mitchell it's like he be shooting a medicine ball.
You you just feel the sports hernia. Every time
It's just like
Yo.
ooh,
Oh.
ooh,
And
ooh.
hey, look, I'm gonna pass this to Big Shot because I know he's about to tag in. But in the words of the great philosopher Jason Cunningham once said, "Shoot your shot, player." I'm going to do
Shoot your shot.
I want to go with the dude who's gonna shoot the shot. This other dude try to pass it to his homie. I'm going to the dude who's gonna shoot the shot. Yeah, he might miss it, but at least he ain't scared to shoot it.
Now, we talked about all these things going on in the West, all this action. But at the end of the day, the Lakers still won this conference by like 5.5 games.
Oh yeah.
They still won it comfortably. And the Lakers are interesting to me because I feel like it's so, rightfully so, it's so top heavy. It's LeBron, it's AD. And you got basically two dudes who can win you 2 games apiece. You got to win 4 out of 7. LeBron will win you 2 games. AD win you 2 games, and it's over. But I'm still not sure. And it's not like Milwaukee unsure. But I really feel like, especially if they end up with the Clippers, as Jerem has talked about, if you gonna roll out Alex Caruso and KCP, whatever Rondo looks like when he comes back, against all them vultures that the Clippers can put out there on the perimeter, for everything that AD and LeBron can do, and AD and LeBron are spectacular. AD and LeBron can go out there and get you 30-point Oscars on the same night. But it's something about the Lakers I am still not quite sure of. And we talked about LeBron in the bubble. Other thing about this too, we have to also be real about this. LeBron 4 months away from 36. Now, as much as the $2 million into his body, he keeps himself in unbelievable shape. 36 is 36. It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me, especially if Russell Westbrook gets healthy and Houston gets out of that first series with Oklahoma City. If you give me a completely healthy Houston team, if we wake up here in 2 weeks and we are previewing a Houston Rockets LA Clippers West Finals, I would not be surprised. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
I'll start.
Go ahead.
All right, so rest in peace to Kobe Bryant, because he actually has a video on YouTube when he was explaining the Golden State and Cleveland series, in which he stated Golden State was like a democracy in which everybody is sharing, everybody gets to eat, versus the Cleveland, which, the king was the one that was serving the table for everybody, and everybody got a chance to eat their portion within the role that they had. LeBron won enough titles to feel like he has his blueprint on how he feels the game should be played and how he needs to win. The problem is there's also a blueprint on what you need to beat LeBron. He has won some and he has lost some, and it's literally a 50-50 flip of a coin. If you look at those San Antonio teams that beat him, they had depth, they had shooting, and they had a small forward that had to make him guard so he couldn't play free safety and roam. Golden State, same thing. Golden State, same thing.
Preach.
So, but also, that same San Antonio team, he has beat them before. That same Golden State team, that was 73-9, he beat them before. So when you look at the Clippers and when you look at a team that is built the same way, like the Golden State Warriors that beat them, the San Antonio Spurs that beat them, when you look at these two teams and you say, okay, the Clippers are built like them, you also have to remind yourself, LeBron has beat them before too. So it's literally 500. And also, LeBron ain't never had a person like AD on this team in his life. Ever.
And MJ, that's why I hesitate to pick against them, because I feel like AD is so unique and is almost an impossible matchup. Like nobody else in the league has anything at the 4 or the 5 for him. Nobody. And that's why, although I have hesitations about the Lakers, AD is like, but Ron, they got AD. Ron, but they got these problems at guards. Yeah, but they got AD.
AD can run guard.
Yes.
What?
And that's why I am probably going to pick the Lakers to get out the West, despite some of the other issues. I mean, I say I wouldn't be surprised if they got knocked off by Houston. I think the Clippers can knock them off, but if we look up in 3-4 weeks and we watching the Lakers in the finals, that wouldn't surprise me, because I think AD is too much, and AD is
Hey,
like
let me talk on this.
AD like
Please.
a one. He like a one. AD is like a one-man front court, like by
Yeah.
himself. AD is the 3, the 4,
Yes.
the 5 all together. Trav, go ahead, because you itching.
Right.
Go.
You know, first thing is first, the Lakers don't need to listen to Shaq and Charles Barkley. Do not listen to it.
Bro.
Reason I'm saying this is because what do they always say about the bigs that's supposed to dominate? They supposed to go out there and dominate. They supposed to go out there and dominate. Call for the ball. They're supposed to dominate. These teams that they're going to play, AD is going to be the number one mismatch. If you run your stuff and go on the floor of the game and find that mismatch within the set of your offense, everything else is going to open up. If the offense consists of AD coming in motion from the left block to the right block and getting the ball that way, and you give it to him and let him go, let it go. But if your offense is doing something else, that's fine. It's kind of like me. I wear contacts. I wear glasses also. But I get up in the morning, I do my little regimen, I eat my breakfast and all that stuff. If I think about, man, I need to get my glasses. I need to get my glasses. I really need to get my glasses. I'm going to mess around and forget my glasses. But if I go ahead and do my regular day, I'm going to get my glasses.
Nice analogy.
I'm going to get my glasses, regardless. I'm going to be like, man, I got to get my contacts. I got to get my contacts. If I go by my day, just regular, I'm going to put my contacts on. That's all the Lakers got to do. You don't, and we always like, man, sometimes AD just got to get down there and pound it. AD can post up, but AD ain't finna get this thing and just boom, boom. AD he got a lot of finesse. He'll get the ball, he'll face you up with a jab and go left. He'll get you a jab and go right. But he'll turn around and he do what he do. Let AD do what he do within the confines of the offense. Don't force feed that shit. You force feed a baby, what's gonna happen? It's gonna throw up.
Yeah.
That's it.
I just think, like, look, 80, you got the first 3 quarters. And the old man, Chloe, get us
Let him
over.
finish. Let him close. Take us home. Take us home.
You get us over the finish line. And
So I'm gonna pass this to Jerm real quick, but I gotta say this. To me, just as to me, I don't think you could line up 5 that's gonna do anything with Howard, AD, Kuzma, Brian, and Danny Green. That's a tough 5 to match.
I'm gonna let Jerm go ahead. That is the lineup I've wanted them to play the whole season. Just forget, we ain't gonna try to play small. Don't even bother. Go ahead, Jerm.
Oh boy. You know, Y'all, when y'all be saying stuff, I'll be listening. Everything like that. I'll be listening to y'all. You know, y'all ain't never steered me wrong. So I just want y'all to know y'all ain't never steered me wrong. But I'm gonna tell you something. This is the year of the guard play. And the guard play is essential. I don't think the LA ain't got no answer for Agent Zero reincarnated. They ain't got no answer for dude. I just want to talk about Dame for 1 second. That fourth quarter that Dame played last night was sensational. Did you see the zip pass that he threw on a line to the man in the opposite corner from half court for the tray ball? Man, all right. Listen, that pass is crazy. Do you understand what you got? Do y'all understand how serious that is? Do you understand what that man just did? That's crazy. That's nuts. That's stupid. That's retarded. Not only did he make the pass, it hit the man right here. And he just raised up and knocked it down. That was it. Not to mention, he can play off the ball. He can play with the ball. And when LA goes to double team him and trap him, that gives another problem. Because the one thing about Dwight Howard and Big Sad, as Trav call him, Whiteside is a young version of what he used to be. So if Whiteside on that floor, it's going to look like Nala and Simba pinned you again. I dare you. It's not going to be pretty. I'm not saying Zach Collins can guard AD. I'm saying that's good length. That's good length. That's good length to try to contest the shot occasionally against him. Just give him something. We know he can't do nothing with him. If AD decide he want to get in the bag, it's not very many players in the league who can stay in front of him. It's just not. He's that nice. But you got guys you can throw at AD, guys you can throw at LeBron. The problem is, it's not Danny Green it's not gonna guard Agent Zero. He gonna be in foul. He gonna be on the bench. This is where they gonna miss Avery Bradley. If they still had Avery Bradley, I'd be like, you know what? They got a shot. Because Avery Bradley as a one-on-one defender coming off those screen and rolls and those type of things, I think that's a really tough cover. That's a really tough cover.
Are you saying on this live?
You might as well.
Are you saying Portland over LA?
Portland 4-2. Portland 4-2. I'm saying it right here.
I knew it.
Portland 4-2. I'm gonna tell you this.
In 6,
I think it's gonna be in 6. I think it happens in 6. We're gonna have some games. We're gonna have some games here that I think are gonna come down to guards being so essential that what if Portland do the same thing to the Lakers that Portland gets done to Dame Lillard? What if they trap LeBron coming across half court? What if Portland all of a sudden starts bring out a 12 defense or something against LeBron?
and you want to lead Danny Green?
Hey,
look, you know what? I'm gonna tell you why I want to leave Danny Green. Danny Green is cool to leave because you never know if he's gonna hit the shot or not. That's the problem with Danny Green. He inconsistent.
If Danny Green got to beat you, you chill with that.
I'm not gonna let LeBron or AD beat me. Them is the two people who I'm worried about. I know I can't stop AD, so I can't give LeBron 40.
So John.
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna pass this to J Ham in a minute, but I want a question I want you to ponder. Don't answer because I'm gonna pass it to Ham.
I know you got something.
Who is Brokeback McCollum gonna guard in that series? Okay, Ham, go ahead.
I already got an answer. I got like 3 answers for you.
On that starting 5 I just named.
You name again, just so I can make sure. Name the name again.
Name starting 5. Okay, so we got Brian, Danny Green, Kuzma, Dwight Howard, and AD. Who is back? I know you're about to say Danny Green. This is where you're gonna mess up at. You say Danny Green, he is good for at least a series and a half when he don't miss shit. Now, the other 5, I don't know what he's gonna do. Yeah. I don't.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I didn't witness this. I didn't witness him break records.
LeBron did too. That's why he on the team.
And LeBron doing it too.
Hey, all right, Jay, jump in, Jay. We heard from you in a minute. Go ahead.
with this one, man, it's like I go back to like opening week of the season, October, November, somewhere in there. And the Lakers, I think they were either in Denver or New Orleans. And I posted a question in the group. I'm like, yo, if they're gonna win this, does AD have to be the best player on the floor for them through the marathon in general, especially when they got to the June portion. I think it's still the case, but that don't mean that LeBron can't be LeBron. It's just one of those where if you go back historically with Finals MVPs, you like we remember when Joe D got the first one, and Zeke came back and got the second one. But Joe D was just on. AD might need to be that on in order for them to really get that done. And he's really why I can't pick against them. Those two are like that tandem, best tandem in basketball. So it's like you've seen this scenario too many times just as hoop fans over the years. But how will the stresses and alterations of the whole scenario affect it? The case study, man. This is like that's what I'm waiting on. I don't even get a prediction. Just my prediction is West California. You know what I'm saying? It's all LA, land of the scammers.
Hey, Jerm said it's all about guard play. Well, Lakers guard. Hey, Lakers guards is AD and Bron.
Man, hey, you can't see it like that. No, I do
because that's the playmaking. That's your playmaking.
Hey, that's what makes this so interesting, though. That's what makes this series so interesting. Because even with you saying that, it still comes down to who makes the shots.
Oh yeah.
Because that's really what this is. I'm just saying, I trust Portland to score 125 per game consistently because they're going to have. First thing is LeBron and the Lakers. If LeBron don't get the ball off the backboard, the Lakers don't have the opportunities that they want sometimes to get easy baskets because LeBron is not advancing the ball. Now, early in the season when the Lakers was cooking, LeBron was advancing the ball. That's why he was averaging over almost 11 assists. Remember how we talked about it? Don't walk the ball up the court. This man wasn't walking it. He was pushing it with the pass.
That's right.
And when you're pushing it with the pass, that changes the whole dynamic. And that was helping LA get out to some leads because now the transition game is working. I think the Blazers are a little bit better at that aspect. You see, I'm not giving you no bias. I'm giving the LeBistic view of how we seeing the teams play. Because that's why this is a matchup for me. And then LeBron can't leave Melo. Melo take that matchup serious. Yeah. I'm not saying Melo gonna score 50. I'm saying Melo can give a good 15-point average in this series, and that's enough with Dame giving you 30 or Dame giving you 25.
Now
they give you 18, that's good. But go ahead.
Now the one thing with Portland, and we saw this against Brooklyn.
Yeah. Oh shit.
If you can't clean up your defensive board against LA, it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night. And if I'm a guard for LA, just shoot it. Somebody gonna clean it up for me. Because between Howard, LeBron, Davis, McGee, they gonna clean everything off that glass. And I think this is gonna be the problem that Portland or Memphis has if you play the Lakers. You're gonna have to hit everything. And if Houston play the Lakers, I talked about I wouldn't be surprised. Houston gonna have to shoot the ball so well against the Lakers because Houston has no chance of getting any board. Zero. None.
85 Villanova style.
And also defensively, go ahead, Ron.
The size they can throw at you. I know we play this small ball era and spread the floor. But man, if they line up, if they put any four of they bigs out there, and I'm counting Kuzma as one of they bigs, man, you better shoot the hell out that ball because you ain't getting nothing coming off that glass.
It's sizes.
And the funny thing that Jerm pointed out was how LeBron was able to get it off the rebound and then he pushed it with the pass. This is what I'm scared for against Portland. What if LeBron doesn't get the rebound, but he just decides to leap? And the bigs throw that pass. What is Dame or McCollum going to do with a jump pass you throw into LeBron on the leak out?
too low.
That's like Moss being guarded by me.
You know,
Jump
and
ball.
that's a good point. But you know what that's going to take? That's going to take Kuz or AD making that pass. That's going to take one of them two people making that pass consistently. And
I
that's what
think
we
they can
want.
make it.
I'm
I
not
think
saying
they can make
I believe so
it.
too. I think that those dudes
The bottom line
are good. I think those dudes are exceptional passers, though. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I want this series to be, I want folks to be making shots. I want pressure to be on all 4 quarters. I don't want no blowouts. I want to hear my guy Kevin Harlan right between the eyes. I want to hear the whole bag. I want to hear it all.
You know what, John? You know what, John? I'm gonna tell you like this. This series, and I think all 8 series are going to be dictated by this. Who can establish their game plan from more and often in these series, offensively and defensively?
Mhm.
If I can get more stops than you, and my game plan and my offensive game plan can work more often than yours, you win.
And
That's it.
that's
If
the
it can't,
funny part.
you
I
lose.
love this matchup, though. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I like this matchup a lot too. I love this matchup.
That's the
None of
funny
them
part.
easy.
That's the funny
Yeah.
part about it, though, man. Like Trav just mentioned it. He mentioned that same philosophy every year
Every year.
in the
It's every
playoffs
year.
because
That's
it's like we throw the wrinkles and the wrenches and the scenarios of that's different all in the mix, but then it all comes right back to what we already know.
Make a mislead.
Make a mislead.
Hey man, shouts out to my guy McCraven for
And it really hit me.
Go ahead, Trav. Go ahead, get that out.
And it really hit me, not 2014, but 2015. Game 3, game 4, game 5, game 6. These folks walked out with a player no taller than 6'7". But they established their game plan early, they established it often, and they won. This is the bottom line, man.
But we got a couple little things we're gonna do while we get ready to wrap up here the show. Somebody actually said MJ. They said MJ for the lineup that you presented with the Lakers. They said who gonna guard Dame?
Nobody's guarding Dame. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Who can guard Dame? That's
Hey,
like you.
no.
Nobody
I know the answer, but you do. Go ahead.
Nobody can guard Dame, but what I can do is I can at least try to make it tough on the perimeter for him shooting and try to funnel him into the basket with my size. I can do that. Now, Carmelo, he's gonna have to beat us. I think Carmelo had a great season, a heartfelt season, but he had a lot of 3 for 11 games too.
And you know the problem with it. Can I say this too?
Yeah.
I gotta say this as well, man. I'm sorry. I do not like him just standing in the corner. When he's around the basket, he down there putting some work to people.
I agree.
That's the issue is the infrastructure of Portland's offense. Dame can still get his points if Carmelo posting up or not. He gonna get his points because the way he shoot the tray ball.
You know what I do like about them though, especially with this desperation back against the wall situation that they're in. They checking up. They get scored on, but they competing, they contesting. And then when you saw it again last night in the fourth quarter, it was like 3 stops in particular with Dame.
Yeah, man,
2 resulted in a steal, and then he just totally disrupted everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, on one joint. So it was like, yo, Melo was in foul trouble, but Melo was in foul trouble being active on the defensive end.
Right.
Same for Gary Trent. Gary Trent, he's active hands. You know what I'm saying? They checking up. And then the dudes they got behind them that's gonna check up anyway. So they coming with it in that formula, man. And I understand what you're saying though, Jer.
I mean, the series is going
stuff
6.
that's bad.
The series is going 6 at least. It's gonna go 6 or 7. This is not gonna be an easy series on any part. I will say that.
If
it was in a conventional setting, I was like, yo, they gonna need to win in 6 because they can win at the house. Game 6 will be important. But in this one, another wrinkle in the wrench. Let's see how they clash with the ideologies.
I like this matchup a lot, man. Like I said, y'all,
Portland still
I'm
got to
here for
get
this.
past Memphis though, y'all. We ain't
I
saying
know, I know,
And
I know,
Get
but
that-
it's no time.
Memphis will be at Wilson Air this time tomorrow night. Get back,
Hey,
going back to
man,
and I love
like
my
I said at the beginning, man, let Memphis win. Let Memphis win. Let Memphis win. Win Saturday.
I'm talking,
Sign me up for money.
money.
Sign me up for
cash
money.
Hey, hey, Trav.
Cash money.
Trav, already got a question for you, and I'm gonna pass it to the panel too.
What is?
He said, "What is your favorite Spurs memory over the last 22 years?" He asked that a while ago. I wanted to save that for toward the end. Or top three.
Well,
top three Spurs moment in the last 22 years outside of the championship.
I got 3 of those myself.
Well, I can go off plays, but I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna tell you my top 3 that I seen with my eyes personally. I went to San Antonio and watched Manu Ginobili retirement. That's one of my favorites.
Okay.
I actually came to Memphis and I had an old woman get mad at me because I had on a Spurs hat and we came down there and beat the shit out of them by 22. And the other one is
22.
And the other one is actually goes into 2013 when I was on Facebook and I told everybody that we would see Miami again in 2014. We commenced to kick their ass by 12 points or more, the highest average margin of victory. But as far as shots and plays and stuff, Sean Elliott's three over Rasheed Wallace. That's my 3. My second would be Tim Duncan just kicked the shit out of every forward that Miami wanted to throw at him. And number one to me is Manu dunking on the whole Miami team. Man. So that's just 3 right off. I got more, but those are like the top 3 that I.
Go ahead,
I got 4 of those as well, man. Games 1, 3, 4, and 6 of the 2011 series. That was at 3 of those. but me and Trav both like long acknowledged that reignited everything in San Antonio going forward to get them back to the finals in 13 and close it out again in 14 the way that they did. So we take the
after 2011, I can honestly say Memphis was on a San Antonio shit list. And from like 2012 to 2014, we had to beat them.
Look at us now. We both gonna be at home for Labor Day.
We both may be at home. We at home. We just got a seat.
We on the way.
We just got a little seat on the side to join them in. Yeah, so I mean 22 years though, man. 22 years.
A lot of stuff.
I will like Pop said, I can't even dwell on the past and what's bad. Now I'm looking on to the future because Pop said it. Like they asked me, do y'all think that y'all got a chance in the playoffs? I would have if you had asked me that earlier, I would have asked you, are you smoking crack? Because we had no chance. You had no chance. But them young guys came in that bubble without LaMarcus, and they played their ass off.
Yep.
They played their ass off.
Yeah.
Keldon and my guy from Miami, I can't never think of his name. Lonnie Walker. No, I call him number 4 because he's the 4th. He's Lonnie Walker the 4th. Them 2 guys, get ready to see them coming out of the rotation. And also Eubanks. Get ready to see them 3. We're gonna be ready next year. So I mean, I ain't gonna jump the boat yet, but when I jump the boat, I'm gonna jump the boat and be a full NBA fan instead of a fan of a team. So
y'all went through 2 lockouts in a pandemic before y'all actually didn't make the playoffs again.
Right.
Ain't
It
that
took a
nuts?
pandemic.
Ain't that stupid?
It took
That
a
mean,
lot.
Oh,
bro, that's crazy. And they still was
Man,
a game and a half, 2 games away.
A game.
game
dude,
away.
Bill Clinton was president and they made the playoffs.
Right. Right. Let's see how it goes when the Spurs got to come down, baby. Yeah.
Hey,
Y'all killing me.
hey, man, them folks
Hey.
had a hell of a run.
Hey, Trav the one who started it. Since Trav want to start doing the voices and stuff.
Yeah, Malcolm
Yeah.
G was like that, man.
Man, I'm not. We ain't bringing that up. We're gonna move forward. Just
All right,
like
so-
those clock moving forward, he moving forward.
So
So-
advanced analytics, Big Shot. Take us into that before we wrap up.
So we gonna wrap up, but I'm gonna let Germ hit y'all with these numbers. And the reason these numbers are important is because we talked about a lot in this 2 hours and so about finishing games, where our guys comfortable at. And Germ has found some numbers on some of the guys that are gonna be finishing these games in the West. Where are they comfortable at? Where are they not so comfortable at? So Germ, hit us with them numbers real quick before we get out of here.
Who we want to start with? What's your
Let's
life like?
I don't know, but
Hollywood.
Dioso, whatever, got them.
Keep that up because I'm gonna make my point. Then I'm gonna let you cut us home. Show him Jared Allen 3 for 10, 3 through 10. Show him.
Will this be accompanied by the Kenny G music that I saw you bumping earlier?
Yeah, man. This is Kenny G pop.
Hey, you know, Jerm is a whole psychopath when he get prepared for a podcast listening to Kenny G.
Hey,
That's
look.
some psychopathic stuff.
Hey, look. When you come with the best, you gotta hang with the best. Gotta come with the best. So, all right, let's start with I want to start with Giannis real quick. All right, because we already talked about a lot of these folks in particular, but I'm gonna start with Giannis for a reason. And I just want y'all to see this because this is a big portion of why I don't trust Milwaukee, and number one, why I don't trust this player. All right. And then I'm gonna let MJ do some of his work in the background. Full-fledged Sag connection right here. It's about to get ugly.
Facts.
Yup.
There it is.
So right here, we got field goal percentage by distance. Okay. That's a 2-point field goal right there. Okay. It says from 2-point, he shoots 63%. So the 1 point, that could be 63.1, whatever. From 0 to 3, that man this year shot 77, close to 78%.
It's dunks.
So that means when he get the ball in the paint and he just do like this, he just put the ball in the basket. That's what happens when he does that. So then when we get to 3 to 10 feet, this is what's so beautiful about this. He comes to earth because now the man is only shooting 34%. Now, why is this significant? Why is this significant? Mr. Drop the J, because the fadeaway is perfect. Go ahead.
The reason why this is significant is because when you're playing in the playoffs, it's much more half court, so he doesn't have time to be able to get a full head of steam and take off. If we haven't learned anything about Giannis or any other athletic player in the NBA, the one thing that we learned is when athletic players train, guys who can play above the rim, guys who are explosive and quick, they are used to finishing at the rim during their training modules. What does that mean? That means that their muscle memory is used to doing certain things and expecting certain things to happen with their muscle memory. So if I am a long athletic guy, and I'm fast, and I'm used to finishing my drills up by taking off full speed from 5 to 7 feet and dunking the basketball as hard as I could. Well, what would happen if somebody decided to cut me off before I could take off? Then what? Well, you get 34.3%. And that's the part that people do not understand. If you want, as a control, we did our homework, we did our research on it. You can actually look at guys who aren't as athletic that are bigs who shoot much better from 3 to 10. Why? Because they know they're not taking off on anything. They're not even trying to take off on anything. So they have to be more craftier between the 3 to 10 foot range as far as being able to shoot an on-balance shot. The problem is when you're athletic and you're used to taking off from there, if anything impedes that takeoff, you're no longer on balance. And the less on balance you are, the less likely you're going to make a shot. Jerm, continue.
All right, so that's Giannis, right? Now I'm gonna take you to the Finals MVP, two-time Finals MVP.
We just don't give you advanced stats here at 94 Feet of Life. We can break it down and explain why.
Yeah, because
Film over film,
all this
and
is
we understand the detail.
because all this is a bunch of numbers until you understand how the numbers correlate to the court. That's
Here
all
you
this
go.
is.
Oh,
Don't do that. Don't do that to me because I'll be ready. I'll be ready. I pulled this. I pulled this out on Hammond and was at Hammond Big Shot this morning after we got finished with the live, and I was like, "Hey y'all, I'm screen sharing just like I was now, and we plan to drop this on y'all." So Kawhi Leonard, he's shooting 50% from two. Now people say, "Oh, he ain't shooting the highest percentage," but he's also not shooting around the basket as much as Giannis is, considering that Giannis was shooting almost 80% right here at this 0-3. But for Kawhi to be shooting almost 70% from that same area, and we know that some of this is him just knowing how to use the backboard, using the rim, and doing it in an assortment of different ways, that's what makes that 70% right there almost impressive. Now look at him from 3 to 10. He's shooting 45%. So that means he knows he's not going to do, just like MJ said, do what?
He is not going to take off, or he will take off, but he knows when to take off. He only takes off when the actual boarding is clear.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not taking off until he actually is clear for it. You know, them people will be telling you clear for takeoff or don't take off. He only take off when he's clear. Now, the one thing that Kawhi is incredible at doing that a lot of people just fail to mention, and I pointed this out during their title run in Toronto, is he is incredible at stopping and pulling up on balance for his mid-range shot between this 3 to 10 foot area. And when he pulls up, the ball is actually about a foot over his head. He's jumping 30 inches off the ground and he's pretty much looking into the basket, but he's on balance. So you're not going to block it. You're not going to impede it because he's going straight up and down on balance, which is the reason why he is shooting 12% higher than an athletic freak like Giannis, who is used to taking off on one leg and trying to boom everything. But if you slide in front of him, now he has to connect. He has to control his body in midair, adjust in midair, and figure something else out.
just ask him B.
Skills pay bills.
All right, now I'm gonna go to the Kings. Now, of course, I'm gonna go to Mr. LeBron, Mr. 15 years in the league, Mr. 17 years in the league, still playing like he's in his 4th or 5th season. We don't do that negative Nancy talk here.
Never.
You got to do that because we can just admire the game while we are currently being able to be graced by the presence of some of these great guys. Now, here's LeBron. LeBron right here in the same instance. Now, make sure so y'all can see this. That's league shooting percentage right here by distance. Now, LeBron this year is shooting 56% from two. He comes back, he's shooting 72, almost 73% from 0 to 3. That means he's in the paint. That's layups, dunks, and those type of things. These are things that we know LeBron is good at. Look at that stretch. He ain't never shot. It's 2 years here that he wasn't at 70% from 0 to 3. That tells you that if it's a dunk or it's a layup, it's butter. Now, here's where we're going to have the biggest inconsistencies. It's going to be between 3 to 16 feet. Okay? Now, again, go ahead, do you? I'm right here. I'm here for this.
I want to add something to that when you get through too, MJ. Go ahead, though.
All right, so what LeBron is the happy medium between what Kawhi is right now and Giannis is right now. The only problem with LeBron is he don't know when to do what at what time. It depends on how he feels at the moment. LeBron has this one leg shot that he's able to come across the paint in, jump off the right leg and still fade on the right, kind of like a dirt thing, but he's more of a sweeping motion in which he makes that shot consistently, as difficult as that sound, and it looks just as difficult as when he takes it, but he consistently hits that shot. That is his go-to move. That is his shot, but he only do it when he's going away from the basket. The problem with LeBron is he doesn't know whether or not he's going to settle for that shot, which actually he shoots higher percentage at, or whether he should use his strength and his athletic ability. Even though it's year 17, you get LeBron with a full head of steam. Just ask Belichick, whatever his name is, how that look at year 17 if you give him a full head of steam and a takeoff. But staying on there to say this. When you are asked on a regular basis to be physically dominant because of your size and your athletic ability, and you never had to develop a skill because you still averaged 25 to 27 points your whole career, it's very difficult to get consistency until you actually need to develop it. The scary thing that I'm worried about is, what if LeBron in year 20 decides to do what Kawhi's doing right now? He might play till year 25, which is even scary to think about. But I'll pass it down.
Now I'm gonna do another guy. Go ahead, Han.
Two things real quick. First though, you actually identified that LeBron has a go-to move.
Yeah.
That's a cardinal sin. Which
I'm sorry. I watched the dude. I'm sorry.
Which of course I'm joking. But y'all remember going back to game 1 in the 18 finals? And then the George Hill missed free throw layup with the JR Hole rebound debacle.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that steal shot that I posted, and it was pretty much of Golden State sitting like in a 1-2-2 set, and LeBron was just pretty much surveying. And of course, the next day, I don't watch this show, but these people put this stuff in front of us through social media. Skip Bayless is ripping why LeBron didn't attack the basket and just take the shot. And one dude in 94 feet of life who's actually no longer there, he actually was taking this debate on the Skip side. Well, he could have just pulled up for a floater. I said, bro, Bron been around with, at that point, 15. When have you ever seen Bron pull up on 2 feet with a floater?
Only one leg.
Only one leg. Muscle memory.
Where was he gonna get the space to do that with how they were sitting with Steph up top, KD and Draymond on the elbows, with Kevon Looney stretched out one corner and Clay stretched out in the other, which they had extended responsibility. And of course, that's why Clay got beat. Anybody would have got beat right there. But it's like he made the right play. But when you look at these numbers, it's like comes right back to it. When have you seen him pull up in that, like that? If he's going in the lane, he going to boom.
I got you, Trav.
He going to finish with one leg up. That's just who he is. That's who
he dunking on you. It's a dunk or he laying it up.
And we talked about this. We talked about this after the earlier show. Giannis is the same way. Why their numbers correlate? It's right.
I mean, think about it. Who's going to train Giannis or LeBron to say, "Hey, you may need to learn how to pull up from 5 feet"?
Right.
Nobody.
That's
Nobody.
the problem. That's
Nobody.
Because you don't want them to you don't want them to not be aggressive, but it also exposes them when you need them to be able to make that shot, because that's the only shot you're going to give up in the playoffs. So now you're hoping you get bailed out with a foul. Trav, go ahead.
We can't find no fault with it, so it is what it is.
And that's the reason why defense should be played in the zone area, in the zone concept, in which you just beat your man to that spot within 3 to 10 feet and make sure they don't go into their 1-2 cadence or their Euro cadence or their half step cadence. Because once they go into that, if you put a body in front of them, they're not going to know how to react because their muscle memory won't allow them to get on balance. And if it does,
keep on preaching. Let's keep on.
Look, you may hit 3 out of 10 of them, but guess what? 3 out of 10, you hitting those off balance shots that may go to Sports Center.
30%.
Now you see the percentage.
Hey, check this out. Check this out. LeBron's slick prime years was when he went to Miami. What's that? 2010. Let's just
look at his numbers.
Let's look at 2010 to 2014. Who was winning MVPs, and during that time, he was doing something right. And from that 3 to 10 range, give me them numbers because I ain't looked at them yet, but I bet you money that 3 to 10 range is way better than what it is from after 2014 and now.
Trav, he was in the post.
You ready?
So,
He was in the
basis,
so 2010, no, not 2009, 2010.
No. We're gonna do 2009.
Drop down one.
Hold on. He won MVP in 2009 and in 2010.
Okay,
So both of those
that's
MVP
fine.
years.
That's fine. Where if you want to.
That do you see why I'm adding that year? I'm adding that year because that was the year.
Yes, I see what you're saying, but look at look at them numbers though. That's 45% from 3 to 10.
Yep, 44. So 45%. 45% is an acceptable percentage from 3 to 10.
That's good.
Okay. Then the next year he was at 46, almost 47. He was back at 45, 46 again.
47, yeah.
Then he was back 48%, 49%. The last year before he went to Cleveland, he was at 55%.
His best stretch.
And all of a sudden, what did it do from there?
It dropped down.
Why though?
Because he started taking on more responsibilities with ball handling and everything else, and these shots started to become a second nature to him.
Hey, that was
no longer in the paint.
That was a better answer than I would have gave. I was just pretty much saying he wasn't in the post no more. Because when he's in the post, you can't help but be on balance because your back is to the basket and you can't just take off from a standstill.
I was just about to say that.
Take off from a standstill, you have no choice but to whatever move you do, it has to be planted off 2 feet. You plant off 2 feet, you're on balance. When you're on balance, it's a higher percentage shot.
And what's the coach name? What's the coach name for what's coach name? Is that Vogel?
Yeah, for the Lakers now?
Yeah.
Vogel, yep. Frank Vogel.
You may need to holler at Spoelstra, Vogel. You may need to holler at Spoelstra.
Hey, now I'm gonna go to this next guy. Hey, Big Shot. You remember you said you wanted one guy specifically, right?
Yep.
You remember that guy was Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Big Shot, I already cheated, so I already know the answers. I got the answers written down.
Tell me the answers.
But I just want you to know, that Big Shot, you are like Nostradamus right now, my guy. Just know that. Because what you said was real. You said you bet Paul George numbers was around that same area that Giannis and LeBron was. And sure enough, they're right there.
Except for when?
Except for when he goes to, let me see, his 0 to 3.
15, 16.
No, 16, 17. When he
16,
shot 48.
That's when he got really back in the full form.
Oh, yeah, I see it now.
What year? Okay. All right, you talk about what year. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Last year in Indiana, 48% from there. Once again, what was happening? Defenses was keying in on him. He had to get to his spots early and do the exact same thing. I mean, I don't want to be a broken record here. I'm not going to repeat myself. It's right there. So I'm going to stop talking.
And what's interesting is here too, is that this year and the last, what is this? The last year in Indiana, if you look at this stretch of his 3-point percentage, it has consistently been around 40% these last couple of years, these last 4, and to be exact. But that's what he's been added and incorporated more into his game, which we can see where it's lacking because obviously it's lacking here in that 3 to 10 foot range. And and Big Shot, when you said that, you know what I immediately thought? He had a game in this bubble where he hit 8 threes, 8 out of like 12 threes, but then he shot like 2 out of 7 from everywhere else. And about 4 of them shots was in the paint and he couldn't finish in the 3 to 10 area.
And the reason I wanted his numbers, specifically is because I feel like, because my Western Conference prediction, let me just get this out of the way. I do think we're going to end up with the Battle of LA in the Western Conference final. I do think that's what we're going to get. And with the Lakers size that we've talked about, Paul George gonna have to make shots in traffic. He's gonna have to be able to take that ball, into the trees in that 3 to 10 foot area, because you just cannot. When you play the Lakers, you can't subsist on jumpers because if you try to outshoot the Lakers, we all know the law of averages says you ain't gonna make 23s a night, and we know the Lakers got the rebounding advantage. So Paul George is gonna have to make tough drives. You're gonna have to make shots in the paint. And that's why I wanted you to pull the numbers, because he's gonna have to go down there, not post up. Boy, he's gonna have to finish amongst them trees. You're gonna have to finish over the Dwight Howard, over a McGee, with another man swarming down on you. So that's why I wanted to see his numbers, because
Y'all want to have, so look, we got about a couple minutes here. I got a couple minutes to spare if y'all do. I just want to give y'all the 3 premier guards in basketball real quick. I want to give you the 3 premier guards. I want to give you Mr. Chef Curry, Mr. Kyrie Irving, and Mr. Dame Lillard. I want to give you these 3.
Right now.
All 3 of these dudes are special. I'm gonna start with the man who won the championship being a lead guard. That's who I'm gonna start with. I'm just gonna go to, if I do it from this year, we don't have a big sample size, obviously, because Steph hurt his hand and everything like that. But I want y'all to see this. Just from what he was doing this year, it looked like he was gonna be on some trash. This is what he did in 5 games. 63%. He was shooting 70 from 0 to 3. 40% from 3 to 10, 100% from 10 to 16, 60% from 16 to 3, and he was shooting, his worst percentage was at the 3-point line. This is why he's still getting his points. If you're going to shoot efficiently across the board like that, and the worst thing you shooting is the 3-pointer, he's still shooting good with 3-pointers. It's just saying from the 3-point range. So that's some of them longer step-in transition threes.
That man in the 50, 40, 90 club still, right?
For real.
And
Last year. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, and please believe that 245 was not going to stick. Now, with all that being said, look at his team. His team, he no longer had anybody to be able to relieve the stress of him, of being able to get loose from the 3, because everybody on the scouting report knows if you're going to take anything away from Steph, it is going to be the 3. The one thing about Steph, though, is because Steph is not overly explosive and Steph knows who he is as a basketball player, you will never catch him going too fast. You will never catch him doing a move that is going to put himself at risk, which means he's always going to be, wait for it, on balance. On balance. As long as you are on balance and you have touch and you have worked on your game, you are always going to be able to shoot a solid percentage everywhere. He was missing them 3s because he was still trying to put them up and force them when he realized that the money was in the 10 to 16 range, because by the time he got to the 3 to 10, it was another big waiting to block his flow. Go ahead, continue.
So I'm just going to go back to the last season that he played more games, and that was 2018-19. As you see, 52, 65, 64, 65, about 48, 49% from 3 to 10. And then we got 40% here, 44% here, about 44% there. Now that's just from that year. Now we're gonna go on. We're gonna do Dame last because Dame playing right now. We're gonna do Dame time last. I want y'all to see just how similar. This is why these are the 3 most important guards in basketball. And I'm not saying it like other people ain't important, because I wanted you to see just how similar they all are. These numbers is all going to be similar, and that's scary.
I mean, but if it makes sense, if you really break it down, because all of them have something that they do that's very elite, but they're gym rats in which they understand that because I do this elite, people are going to want to take this away. So I have to work on this so that I can be able to keep them honest so I can do what I do elite.
Now, Mr. Kyrie Irving.
But y'all too busy worrying about y'all too busy worried about his mindset though.
Now, MJ.
Sir.
this is crazy. It's crazy how Kyrie's numbers. If you look at Kyrie's numbers and Curry's numbers, you see how these numbers do not waver. They stay in the same vicinity. Now, except for this 3 to 16, the 16 to 3-point, that went up, that went down a little bit, but he's still over 40%.
I've seen this guy stand on 2 basketballs while dribbling and catching a tennis ball. I've seen this guy do the smooth criminal Michael Jackson with no strings, no nothing, no magic tricks. He was able to lean forward and lean back on his own and lean sideways and lean to the other side on his own without falling. This dude is somebody that I will tell you, what did Ray Auerbach say when Pistol Pete threw that pass? Don't try it. You have to, he has the balance of a ballerina. Until you're able to get your core and your balance and your feet that good, don't try the shit he's doing. This is what I call the epitome of special, because whether he jumps off 1 leg, 2 legs, he's on balance no matter what. But I always got to give the real top part of it too. It's a reason why Kyrie is always injured.
Because of these numbers right here.
No, it's a reason why he's always injured, because even though you are on balance, guess what? You're putting a lot of stress on your ligaments when you're jumping off 1 leg, landing on the same leg, when you're doing all of this supporting, you're putting a lot of stress on your body, not just with your legs, your shoulders, all that. How many times we've seen them do a jackknife that wasn't required? Like, your body can only do so much on an 82-game standpoint. So the Kyrie that I actually saw at the beginning of this season, the first 5 games, like his first game, he dropped 50 off bat. And it was to the point, it was exciting. He was not playing with nobody. When I saw that, I was like, oh shit, he figured it out. That's what I said. I was like, oh my God. He didn't play with the ball. It still looks saucy because that's just who he is. He didn't play with the ball. It wasn't no 5 dribble combinations. He attacked her shoulder, got what he wanted. If you backed up, stuck the 3 in your eye, still had the hezzy, finished left, finished right, did all of those other things, but it was quicker. It was to the point. And he was not using energy. And he was not putting his body in terrible situations. That's going to be his next step. With all of this balance, imagine if you just played, not necessarily basic, but imagine if you didn't put your body through that situation with the balance that you already have. You could probably play 5 years of 82 games straight. Go ahead.
Well, we got Dame Dollar now, the last guy before we let y'all go. Now, you just see that, you see how they're eerily similar. These 2 guys, and this guy's going to be eerily similar with those guys. But this is why they're able to get whatever it is they want when they're on the basketball court. Because they're a threat from every.
We see something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Look at that 3 to 10.
Oh, them last 2. The last 2.
Hey, but guess what though? You picked them to win in 6. You trust them shooting from that distance and winning the game?
I'm not trusting him from here. I'm trusting him from here.
You know something though?
He gonna need all that 47%.
Hey.
He gonna need all that 47%.
You know what I'm saying?
He gonna need all that 47%.
You go back to like
right
his core, you go back to like his core stats. This is his first season averaging 30. It was Jared was just scrolling down. I just noticed that. I'm like, oh, he actually averaged 30 for the year. And then I think about it again. It's like, no, he done had 2 stretches this year where he's been like that. Right around January, maybe February, somewhere in there, like January, right around All-Star. He was filthy right then, and then what he's done this last week. It's like, but he's got so much volume.
17.
Look at the volume that he should do.
Yeah.
Now,
17 to 18, 2017, 2018, he kind of figured it out.
No.
He kind of figured it out.
See, the thing is, we don't want to make it about whether they figure it out or not. What we pretty much make it about is based off of what their target focus was that year when they got into the gym. See, the thing about it is, every year, if you're a great player, there's something else that you want to focus on. It's not checkers anymore once you get to this elite level. It's chess. So
Right. It's
if
chess.
I know that I just killed you doing something in one year, I'm going to go into the lab and be like, okay, I need to develop a new move that's going to be around this area because I know next year the scouting report is going to say, take this away. So I need to work on this. And if you notice, the reason why the 35 and the 31 is consistent between 2019 and 2019 and this year is where is he shooting from three, as opposed to where he was 18 through earlier. Now he's shooting at 40 foot. So this is what's happening. Now with Dame's athletic ability, because he's the only one that's really finishing at the rim in comparison to the other two guards, with his athletic ability, and he's already got you guarding him between 25 to 40 feet. If you guard me close from 25 to 40 feet and I'm fast, that's a lot of feet to get to take off.
Yep.
Hey,
So now he gets a running start to the basket. Usually if he's getting that running start to the basket, he's not thinking about no fucking floater.
It goes one column over too, man. You looking over at the percentage of field goal attempts by distance. He took more threes. 50% of those are threes that he's taking.
Yeah.
He's still dropping it at 4 that clip.
Yeah. Because basically what he said was, okay, I can make this shot comfortably. This actually is an easier shot than me going to the basket.
Right.
Because if your feet are set and, you know, shooters, guys who really can shoot, you know, what Steph Curry's doing and what Dame is doing right now, it's been done. It just hasn't been glorified as much.
Yeah.
A real shooter know if you're going to leave me open, as long as my feet set and I'm comfortable, I can shoot this bitch from like half court. I can shoot from half court if you let me. If I'm comfortable, yeah, I'll put that bitch up. Now, with that being said, if I'm shooting from half court, now the defense got to guard me at half court. In order for me to get around the defense, now I got to use energy. I'm probably going to have to go full speed because if I don't go full speed, they're just going to play me at the line, just like how Kevin Love played Steph when he guarded him real good in that game. I got to give good examples now. I'm just keeping it real. Kevin Love, in his mind, he didn't say, I know he wants to shoot a three. He was just saying, I don't want him to shoot this three. So if he gets around me, fuck it. But you're not about to shoot this three. And he was able to stay in front of him because Curry was trying to bait him into guarding him going to the paint, but Kevin Love never bit. So now this is how people are guarding Dame. People are guarding Dame like, we just don't want you to shoot this three. Well, Dame was like, y'all must have forgot, I dunk niggas. But with you dunking niggas, now what if somebody gets in front of your takeoff? You only 6'3".
Right.
You know what happens? 31%.
31, 35, and 31%.
Can I rest my case?
You can rest your case.
Hey, man.
Go ahead.
It don't take advanced. It don't take advanced analytics. It don't take advanced analytics to figure it out, man.
But when you add them in, and
it don't take it.
But when you add them in and you can figure them out, it's like we got the world right here.
I mean, now, just for us to be able to go through that though, y'all, just to show as we get to the playoff stretch of why we look at the game the way we look at it, the advanced analytics don't make me look at basketball no different. It makes me see what it is. Remember, I said this morning, hey, Giannis struggles close to around that basket. He struggles around the basket when he's not dunking or laying the ball up. When we went to the advanced analytics, what did we find? Exactly the reason why.
And then you come to a person like me who actually trains people in basketball, in which I know how the human body is all muscle memory, how the importance of weight distribution or lack thereof can determine whether or not you're going to make a move or not, whether or not you're going to be successful in making a move or not, and how to be able to preach being on balance at all times, but how hard it is when you're going full speed. It's just really hard to get on balance when you go full speed. Even if you get to the stop on the dime pull-up like Jordan did, he had knee problems doing that move. That's a lot of weight distribution going and a lot of force and inertia going to a spot only for your feet and your knees to stop like this and raise up. for 82 games, it takes a toll. And if you notice when you got to watch it, a lot of up fakes. And that move was not as explosive.
And still complete the shot.
Yeah. Yeah. I want y'all to watch Kawhi Leonard's knees within the next 4 or 5 years. And also, if you haven't noticed, the whole, they call it, load management. That's not load management. He's having leg problems because he defends like a walk-on in college. And he raises up to his highest capacity on his pull-ups when he shoot his mid-range shot. I used to play the mid-range game. I had balls underneath my kneecaps about this big. They call it jumper's knee. It's hard to sustain that. But by the same token, it's like you have to find a way to be able to find your pace in the game. That's why I preach pace so much. Because if you find your pace in the game in which you can evenly distribute the energy to the body, in which no body part is overworking itself, now you can play forever. Not really, but you can be able to be efficient at what you're doing. That's why I always say, focus on a longer stride. Focus on your shoulders actually going down and having your body move forward, because now you're distributing the weight everywhere as opposed to it just being a long step. This is just some game behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. I mean, everybody calls themselves a trainer now. This is me explaining how to be able to keep your body playing. Because part of being a basketball player is availability. If you're not available, and think about some of the dudes who always played off balance and what happened to them. Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook. It's not rocket science.
That being said,
ain't too many nerds can get on television and drop dimes like that with lights all around you, and they can't tell you that.
They can't.
Look, all I want y'all to know is somebody put on here 24-hour show. we need some change. We need a little change. Put a little change in the change jar. We can try to make it happen, Captain. But yeah, with that being said, though, final thoughts, as we go around the horn and close out the show. MJ, I'm gonna go to you. I'm gonna let you finish out. Anything else you want to add?
Don't let the television tell your vision.
Trav.
Hey man, continue to watch these games, man. It's gonna be fun, man. So I'm gonna keep y'all posted. Y'all gonna keep me posted. We gonna keep each other posted, man.
Ham.
The scene.
Hey, I'm sorry as hell, man. Just y'all know how I'm.
Hey.
Just had to get one in, Enjoy it though, man. I mean, we got it back. We didn't get it back in the conventional way, but it's back. It's home. It's cracking. Enjoy.
I'm gonna say my last couple words. I'm gonna pass it to Big Shot, because he always closes us out so eloquently. Honestly, y'all, man, I just want y'all to really enjoy these playoffs, man. Enjoy it, not just because it's basketball being back, but because we're gonna really get to see some NCAA tournament type games. I think we're gonna see some buzzer beaters. I think we're gonna see the whole 9 yards. I think we're gonna see a lot of great execution coming from some of these teams. But more importantly, man, I think we're gonna see some upsets. Give me the Clippers and the Portland Trail. Give me Portland and the Clippers in the conference finals. That's my prediction. Hey, Big Shot, go on, take it to the promised land, man.
Hey, I predicted in the East. I said Toronto, Miami in the East Finals. I'm gonna stick with the Battle of LA in the West Finals. Not ready to pick a winner quite yet. Not quite ready to do that, but I may pick one. Remember, y'all, subscribe, keep your notifications on, because you never know when we're gonna do these. These come up spur of the moment, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 7 o'clock at night. You never know. So keep subscribed, Notifications on Facebook group 94 Feet of Life, Facebook fan page The Scene, THESCEN, no E on the end, The Scene. Look out for us. Enjoy these playoffs. We'll talk to y'all soon.